Hello everybody and welcome to today's video, and in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Maine Senator Susan Collins and, obviously, current President Joe Biden. I'm gonna go get started by labeling all of Biden's safe states: Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Colorado. I think, Colorado will probably be safe. I think these are all gonna be safe, for Biden. Just gonna go through these. Actually, right now it's halftime of the Hawks game. They're winning at home, so hopefully we can maintain a lead because I don't want to lose. Again, I don't think Nebraska's first would be safe. For Collins, I think that she's strong in the suburbs, but Biden's also strong, and they're going to continue to shift. For Biden's likely states, he gets New Mexico, Nebraska second, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Not Maine at large. Also, actually, Maine's first is likely. And Virginia. In Mexico, Collins doesn't have the appeal to oil workers, and she's also not strong enough for the Hispanic and Latino vote. Honestly, this should probably actually be safe. Because of that, in Nebraska second, even though Collins is fairly strong for the suburbs, Biden is as well, and they're going to continue to shift. Minnesota, Collins can't turn out the rural base, is not strong enough for the working class, and even though, once again, she's fairly strong for the suburbs, Biden is as well, and they'll continue to shift. It's a very similar thing across Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Wisconsin being the more conservative one, Michigan being the more liberal, Pennsylvania being in the middle. I see Biden doing well enough with the black vote and turning out enough black voters in all these bigger cities, whereas Collins will struggle to turn out rural voters. She'll do really poorly with the rural vote. She'll do horrendously with the working class, and the suburbs will still shift to the left, even though she's a fairly strong suburban candidate. In Virginia, once again, Collins and Biden, in terms of the suburbs, it'll probably shift a little bit to the left, considering they're both fairly strong in the suburbs, but they're going to continue to shift. However, Collins is going to do horrendously with the rural vote, and do horrendously with the black vote. Honestly, this should probably also be safe. It's hard. It's hard between being likely and safe. But I mean, Collins just can't turn out the rural base. And it's just gonna cost her. In Maine's first, it's Collins home state. She's pretty strong. She's a fairly strong candidate, I think, in Maine. I think she has a lot of appeal to a lot of those New Englanders. So I'm gonna only give it to Biden likely. I think Hillary only actually carried it likely in 2016. For Collins, like I said, she gets Nebraska's first, Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, South Carolina, Mississippi, and Alaska. A lot of these, honestly, Missouri could be lean. And I guess same with Kansas. Nebraska second, once again, the suburbs are just going to continue to shift to the left. And I also don't see her turning out the rural base. In Kansas, she's going to do worse, and she's going to do horrendously with the rural vote. And the suburbs will continue to shift. Honestly, I could see this being, incredibly competitive. I could see it being like R+6. Like it's not outside the realm of possibility that this goes lean. Very similar thing in Missouri. She just can't turn out the rural base like Trump can, whereas Biden's gonna be able to retain enough of the turnout from St. Louis and Kansas City to the point where it very well could be lean. I'm gonna give these both to her as very low likelies, but they both could be lean. Indiana, it's a fairly similar thing. She's gonna do really poorly with the working class. Whereas Biden's gonna still do pretty well. In Indianapolis and Gary, South Carolina. Collins is not good for the white rural vote, whereas Biden's strong for the black vote. It'll probably only be like R+6. Honestly, it probably should slip down to lean just because she just doesn't have enough appeal to white rural voters, whereas Biden has lots of appeal to black voters. Mississippi, it's a fairly similar deal, except for Mississippi's like 6 or 7 points farther to the right, maybe 5% or 5 to 7% farther to the right of South Carolina. In Alaska, Collins doesn't have the appeal to oil workers, and this we're going to continue to see it shift to the left as more and more Native American voters turn out. For Biden's lean states, he's going to get Nevada, Maine at large, not Maine at large, Nevada and Georgia. So in Nevada, he's strong enough, for the Hispanic and Latino vote, whereas Collins is going to do really poorly with the rural vote. Georgia, Biden is going to be able to do well enough in Atlanta. He's going to really run it up in Atlanta. He's going to do very well with the black, or not necessarily really run it up. Probably not as much as against Trump, just because Collins isn't Trump. But he's going to do very well with the black vote. Collins is going to do pretty poorly. I could see him doing well in Atlanta, or like turning out more voters in Atlanta. I find it unlikely though. Um, whereas Collins is going to do really poorly with the rural vote. Honestly, this could be likely. It's going to be like D+4, D+5, just because Collins, even especially in like these diversifying suburbs, she's going to do really poorly. Georgia and South Carolina will be very similar margins of victory. Honestly, Georgia could be a likely margin. Just because Collins is so horrible, it's just like so awful for rural voters. It's going to be very difficult for her. Um, for her lane state, she gets Texas, Maine at large, and Maine second. Oh, by the way, Biden also gets New Hampshire. I see him doing well enough with white rural college educated voters when it's like in New Hampshire against something like Collins. If it was in Maine, probably not. But I see him doing well enough in the state that's not Collins' home state. Anyways, Collins in Texas. She's going to do really poorly with the rural vote, and the suburbs will continue to shift to the left. I just don't see Biden being amazing for the Hispanic Latino vote. Actually, this should probably be Till, honestly. Just because she's so horrendous for the rural vote, it should probably be Till. Maine at large and Maine second. This is her home state. Maine at large is here doing well enough with white rural college educated voters. A lot of that base that she was able to tap into in 2020. Probably a small margin victory. Maine second. Once again, Maine is her home state. She does not have the populist appeal that Trump did. But still, it's her home state, and I see her retaining enough 2020 Senate voters that went from her to voting for Biden to voting for what was it, Jared Golden? Is that his name? Um, I'm not fully certain of his name. It's something like that. The representative from that district. So I'm going to give that to Arlene. For Biden's tilt states, he gets Iowa, Ohio, and North Carolina, whereas Collins gets Arizona and Florida. So in Arizona, Collins is just going to do well enough in the traditionally conservative suburbs. Actually, it's probably just going to be lean. She's too strong with traditional conservatives. In Florida, she's not going to do very well with the Hispanic Latino vote. She's not going to do as well in the suburbs. I don't necessarily know that Florida suburbs are shifting to the left, though. We're seeing counties like Pinellas County, Duval County, Seminole County flip, but Trump actually performed better in the suburbs in 2020 than in 2016, which is a strange sign. So I'm not necessarily certain that Florida's suburbs are shifting, but either way, she just doesn't have the appeal, and I see her being probably better in the suburbs and better with older white voters than Trump. But she's gonna what she makes up for with those voters, she's gonna definitely lose with Hispanic Latino voters. It's probably gonna be like a high tilt though. For Biden's tilt states in Iowa, Collins is so poor with rural voters, whereas Biden has enough populist appeal to be able to get Obama to Trump voters, especially hesitant Obama to Trump voters that considered Biden, but ended up ultimately voting for Trump. I think he has significantly more appeal to all those voters. Very similar thing in Ohio. I could see it being I could see it being lean. He just has so much appeal to the working class. Again, or not so much. He has appeal to the working class in someone like Collins. So I just touched my mic with my finger. The suburbs will shift to the left. Collins is going to be horrendous for the rural vote. And Biden's going to do well enough with the black vote in a lot of these bigger cities to carry it by high tilt or low lean. And in North Carolina, it's going to probably be like a high tilt. Collins is going to be really poor with the rural vote and really poor with the working class. Honestly, it should probably be a lean. Biden's going to do well with the black vote. And Collins, the suburbs will continue to shift to the left against her. It's going to be like a probably 2% margin of victory for Biden. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below. Go Hawks. Hope that they win. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.